Hi there, this is Huxbear's videos from his natural surroundings, part 2. So I'm recording this in my underground lair, which everybody else would probably call my basement. Why do I call it my underground lair? A few people have been asking me that actually because I've used that term online a lot lately. And basically, it works out to this. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been a comic book geek. And I think probably just about 15 years ago, stopped reading comic books. About the time that the X-Men had spun off into the New Mutants, and then about halfway through the New Mutants run, I just realized comics were getting too expensive, and at that time, Troy, my husband, and I, we were pretty hella poor, so didn't have a lot of money for comics and luxury things, so we made the decision mutually that I wouldn't buy comics anymore, and stopped reading comics for a long time. And then about, I don't know, probably about a year, just a little over a year ago, or just about a year ago actually, Wing was getting ready to go to China, and he decided he wanted something to read, and so we went to a local comic book store, and he picked up V for Vendetta. And while we were there, he looked at lots of other things, and I was, reminiscing about the comic books of old and looked into some of the old titles like X-Men and things like that, and also some of the other old standards like Avengers and all that kind of stuff, and found some of the, like I said, the X everything generation, and then also found some really neat graphic novels and retellings of fairy tales and things like that, and got into the series called Fables. And then started to do some research and found out that people had been scanning comics and uploading them. As you can now get everything, all of the issues of Spider-Man and all of the issues of the Avengers and X-Men and all that kind of thing throughout history, whatever. And so I started to download some of those and some of the graphic novels as well, and really enjoyed them. And before you raise your hands in alarm that I'm bankrupting the comic book industry, my thought is, and my specific intention is that the ones that I enjoy, I absolutely will support and buy when I have the money. I treat it sort of like an online library, that I download it, read it, and if I like it, I will then subsequently purchase it. I've done that with library books for my entire life. Anyway, so that's my rationalization and justification. Beyond that, it also gives me the luxury of being able to examine and explore different art styles and storytelling styles. Some of the storytelling styles and art styles over the years, once comic books started to change after I stopped reading them, and they started to get into the full page art and all the way to the corners, and different art styles, very avant-garde art styles in some instances. I found I didn't really enjoy a lot of those. I like people to look like people, I like monsters to look like monsters. I like people who are monsters to look like people who look like monsters. Blobs of color and a few, swipes of, black ink doesn't say, doesn't convey anything to me unless it's art. It doesn't necessarily convey a story to me in a linear or even non-linear storytelling fashion. Anyway, that's just me. And I feel free to change my mind if I come across something that tells me a story wonderfully and symbolically like that. Anyway, so since I grew up reading comics, I've always had this fascination with heroes and their Fortress of Solitude, that kind of thing, or Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. So I had always thought, I want a secret passage. I want a secret room in my house. Ever since I was a little kid, and over the years, have always wanted to motivate myself and think of myself in a pretty heroic fashion. I think I do things to help people, and I do things for what I think are good motives. And like lots of people, my motives are very often misinterpreted or attributed, dark motivations to. And so I also realize that lots of evil villains have underground lairs. And anybody who knows anything about what's going on in my life in this recent period knows that, yes, I've definitely been cast in the supervillain role a lot lately. A lot. Um, so, because of my Svengali mind powers, that kind of thing. Anyway, so I've been identifying a little bit more recently with some of the cynicism of the supervillains. And fine, you want me to control the world? I'll control the world. And there will be a lot more hairy naked men in it. So, if you'd like to sign up for Huxbear's Hairy Naked Men World, or World Dominated by Me, then just click on the PayPal link at the end of this video. No, not really, but wouldn't it be cool if it was? Okay, thanks a lot. Bye for now.